So the fantastic people across at Dita sent me out one of their new CarboTec Pro blue carbon sticks. So the stick they sent me across is the C100 in the crossbow profile, so that's a maximum low bow with a 25mm bow 200mm up from the head of the stick. The stick also features a special face which has water displacing divots to add to the control that you get with your first touch. So the blue carbon in the name actually comes from the final layer, which is aerospace grade blue carbon, which is wrapped around to give the unique finish. Obviously looks are subjective, but I think the finish on the stick looks fantastic. So one place where this stick really shines is the feel on the ball. The first touch is fantastic. The feedback that you get through the stick is almost instantaneous, so you'll find yourself trapping balls that usually they would bounce off. Because the feedback you get is so immediate, it enables you to have a lot of confidence when you're on the ball, so you can execute skills that you wouldn't necessarily take on usually. So things like receiving the ball under a lot of pressure in a crowded D, you can have confidence in your first touch that the ball won't bounce off unless you really want it to. Obviously the stick that I was testing did feature a full low bow, so if you wanted to, it was very easy to control that first touch into the air, but equally it was very easy to keep the ball flat. So with hitting, what you'll often find with sticks with this much feel on the ball is that they are kind of a double-edged sword, because they have such lively feedback when you're on the ball and receiving it. If you have any mishits, that feedback is there again, and it causes a lot of vibrations through your hands and wrists. This doesn't appear to be the case with the Dita, however. The stick has a very large sweet spot, and it's very easy to get a clean connection. The stick is very stiff, so there's very little flex when you're actually hitting the ball. Because there is so little flex, it's very easy with the low bow profile to get the ball to lift. Now, it's easy enough to control this lift, but if the ball does get in front of your left foot, you are going to lift the ball. The dimples on the face do not have any negative effect on the hitting, they are all very small. The stick is equally good when getting down low and hitting slap passes, and because of that touch compound on the face, it makes it very easy to aim. When it comes to flicking, the stick is really good for 3D skills, both on the open stick and on reverse. Because of how lively the stick feels on the ball, when you're performing a 3D skill over a stick, the ball is almost glued onto the end of the stick itself, so it's very easy to execute mid-air changes of direction to put you into a gap between two defenders. The thin head on the Dita also makes it very easy to get under the ball. Coupled with the excellent feel on the ball, it makes it very easy to pick the ball up when you're going to lift it. This means that for short range flicked passes, it's very easy to execute them, lifting the ball 2 to 3 inches off the ground to lift it over an opponent's stick. Because of the stiffness and feel on the ball, it's very easy to aim flicked shots at goal, but one negative effect of the excellent touch compound on the face is that it is sometimes very hard to get the ball to move up the stick into the bow so that you can add whip and power onto your flicks. So on reverse, this stick has a good edge. It has I would say a medium thickness, but it makes it very easy to connect cleanly with the centre of the ball. The stick has a reinforced tomahawk area, which makes it feel extra stiff when you're hitting on reverse. Because of the thickness of the reverse edge, it's quite easy to control the height when hitting on reverse, and there's a very good power transfer because of that reinforced area. Within a short period of time practicing hitting your tomahawks, you'll be able to pick out all corners of the goal. Throwing an aerial pass with this stick is quite easy. Because of that excellent feel, it's very good for picking up the ball initially, and it's very easy to throw the ball accurately over 30 or 40 yards. The technique with getting the ball to roll up the stick and into the bow is quite difficult to begin with and does require some adaptation because of the feel of the face of the stick. Once you've mastered that technique though, it's very easy to throw the ball over 50 yards with relative ease, but if you don't get that down, it's very hard to carry the accuracy over 30 yards. Similar to with overheads, drag flicking is going to require some adaptation. Because of the touch compound on the face, it makes it cling on to the ball really well, which when you're dribbling is fantastic, but when you're looking to motivate the ball up the shaft of the stick so you can utilise that low bow, it does mean that you have to make a few changes to your technique. The technique is really what's key here. So because of that very same touch compound, picking up the ball is fantastic on the move. The ball stays glued to the end of the stick through the pickup. As you move into the drag, you have to alter your technique a little bit to get the ball to roll up into the bow so that you can then whip back through and add power at the later stages. But because of that tacky feel of the face, the ball then holds on the head of the stick a little bit longer, which means you can be really accurate with your flicks. Because of that, it's very easy with this stick, once you've adapted your technique, to really pick out the corners of the goal. But until you have got that adapted technique down, you will see a slight drop in power in your drag flicks. So where this stick really stands out is the feel on the ball. Because the stick is so alive and responsive, you have so much confidence in executing close skills. Obviously there are some adaptations required to techniques for overhead passes and drag flicking, but if you're the kind of player who likes to spend time with the ball on the end of your stick, this is absolutely a stick you should look into.